Hi, I'm Richard Lewis reporting for cadred.org. As you probably realised from the walk-around video you're going to have seen by now, I'm at Home Story Cup 8, having a wonderful time. Next to me is a wonderful man, a wonderful big man who I just saw doing weights earlier today for the first time. Scary sight. It is, of course, Targa, now with Team Dignitas. So let's start at the beginning, big guy. You're at Home Story Cup. You're having a good time. Obviously, it's quite, wonderful and prestigious to be here, but it's not your first time, I don't think. I remember you being here in the past. Yeah. How does it feel to get invited back?
Oh, it's an honor. I mean, there's so many good players in Europe, and of course I'm good friends with Dennis, which makes a huge difference when it comes to getting invites. But it's just fun to be here, and they also know that, like, if I lose, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna talk with people. I'm gonna go out for beers later. So, I don't go back to the hotel and cry after losing. So I think Dennis thinks it's good to have me here, and I love it here, so it's perfect.
I think you're starting to fall into that area where you're becoming more and more of a personality now in the StarCraft scene, which I like, because from the moment I met you, I was like, this guy, he's a funny fucking guy. He's going to really come across well on camera. I see you doing some casting. I see you getting involved on the couch and having a bit more fun on camera. Do you think that's something that we're going to start seeing you do a lot more, that you're going to go from being this kind of, improving player to perhaps being this new kid on the block in terms of celebrity stroke caster?
I'm not sure. I don't put much effort into being a streamer and so on. I think casting is fun. Like I did some casting for ESL, for WCS, like the Challenger group, and Carmack pretty much told me that it was a test. Like, some people thought that I could be a decent caster. I think that I'm not a good enough caster to be on like the big stage. I would like to be on like analysis desk or something, like being invited to a big tournament to analyze games and so on. That would be a ton of fun to do, but it's not something that I would want to do full time. There's also like many kind of like dinosaurs in the esports industry, so well, not really dinosaurs, but people.
I like that word.
Yeah, but people like Artosis and Tasteless, I'm never gonna be able to compete with them. Both with, like, my fan base is much smaller, and also with having a smaller fan base, I can't really charge much from casting a tournament, so I mostly do it for fun.
Okay. Right, so let's talk a little bit more about what we've touched upon there, and that is the fun, right? Because the great thing about Home Story Cup is that it's fun. It's not a bullshit, play your game, go and sit in your little designated area with your headphones on, go back and play your game, and 1 hour for an autograph signing opportunity, all of that shit that you see at a lot of modern StarCraft events. Is it difficult for you to kind of have like so much super awesome fun here at an event like this where you can drink and relax, and then you go to a super serious tournament and then you've got to kind of change attitude? Because I know which one you prefer. Do you ever have problems finding the right sort of mindset, if you like?
I actually, a little bit. When I went to WCS, I knew that it's super serious and so on. But it's just boring. Like, we're in a studio, and there are some fans that come over, but it's usually the same people that we see all the time. Also, we were at the hotel 40 minutes away from the venue, so we couldn't do anything in the city. Usually, when we're at the DreamHack, there's always a possibility of taking a taxi to go to the city. IEMs as well. Like, we can always go out for food and drinks, go and have fun, go out with fans and so on. WCS is supposed to be like super serious. It's of course nice to compete there, but I still prefer like more casual tournaments like this.
Yeah. Let's quickly just ask you about what being a competitor actually means to you, because I think players now, because we've got this kind of culture where I almost think StarCraft now is driven by the personalities rather than the skills. Like, we all know Koreans dominate the game, and I think a Korean guy with who's really, really awesome at the game but with no personality, he'll never quite be respected in the same way someone with an awesome personality, maybe a caster or a streamer or someone like that. I don't think there's that same level of respect for it. I think there's been a big cultural shift. So in terms of being a competitor, I mean, how important is that to you? I mean, is that ultimately why you do this, or are you a bit more philosophical about it? Do you think this is a great life experience and I love just having fun? You know, doesn't matter if I'm not really top 5 at an event or whatever.
Oh, that's actually a tough question, because I feel I'm a little bit on both sides, because I love to compete, and that's the reason why I started with StarCraft. Like I used to play a little bit of Warcraft as well, and the competitive side of StarCraft it's a ton of fun. And although I agree with the Koreans being superior and so on, I still think that if I had practiced as much as they do, which of course I should, but I don't always have the motivation to do it. I think that I can be on their level or even better, and I've shown that in the past that I don't have any problems going up against them, especially if I practice a lot. Yeah. As for being like a fun experience and so on, I agree as well. Like I get to travel around Europe. I'm going to Singapore. I was supposed to go to Vegas for IPL. That never happened though. But I get to travel around the world, meet tons of awesome people, experience different cultures and so on. And that's also like a lesson I can take with me in life.
So just before we move on to some more general questions about this event, I just want to ask you one last thing, kind of in a more general sense, and that is about you becoming this controversial figure, which I find it hilarious. Like in StarCraft, it's the only esport I know where you literally have to do nothing to be controversial. Just have an opinion, you're fucked, you know? But one of the things that stands out in my mind was when you did this interview with Carmack, and Carmack kind of said, oh, we can't really show it in its entirety, and there was this big thing about it, like controversial Targa. First question is, do you see yourself as well, no, actually, let's do it the other way around. So the first thing is, what happened in that interview, and can you sort of tell us about it? And the second, just more general question is, do you view yourself as like this controversial figure? Like, do you think you go out to almost court controversy with the things you say?
So after WCS round of 16, I did a big interview with Carmack. They only used like a minute of it. I think he was interviewing me for 30 minutes. And he even told me, like, after the interview was done, that they were gonna try to edit it to make me look good. I said some stuff in my mind. It's not controversial or anything. Like, maybe I'm a bit too direct on some things. I'm a little bit too honest when it comes to something. People will obviously disagree with me, but like StarCraft community is like a big circle jerk. Like, you're supposed to say absolutely nothing. Or even if you're a little bit outspoken, there's a chance that everyone is going to hate you. But I mean, some people have managed to turn it around, like in control. Like I think we all remember in the beginning, like every time he said something, there would be like 5 threads on Reddit, and they were all hating on him. Yeah. Like luckily that has changed. But if I say something that might be negative, or if I'm trying to be funny, there's always a possibility of someone not understanding my message, and they get mad. And to some people, it might not be a big issue, but like I'm representing Team Dignitas and a lot of sponsors, and they want me to behave. They want everyone to like me, which is a little bit fucked up, because in the real world, there are people that are gonna dislike you. Yeah, obviously. There are people that will hate you for your opinions and so on. And I know that like bringing in politics and so on in StarCraft, that's a silly thing to do, because people obviously will disagree with you. But just saying things like WCS can improve, people are gonna be like, oh, you're never gonna do well, why do you give a shit, and so on. And yeah, that's a bit silly. And I don't think I'm controversial. Like a lot of pro gamers share my opinion. Like we talk on Skype and so on, talk at tournaments. But they don't have the balls to say it. Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
I found that a lot myself. You know, like I'm one of those guys where it's like whenever I say something that's controversial, loads of people will privately say, "Nice one, Richard. Good job. Yeah, but I totally agree with what you said." Publicly, they won't say shit. They'll let me get shit on. You know, yeah. Is that tough for you? Like, I mean, have you ever woke up after like one of those episodes and thought, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like, has it ever been so bad you've thought, actually, I'd rather just get drunk and get a regular job and fuck this shit?
No, it's never gone so far. Like, the things that I've been involved with are very small compared to what other big players have been involved in. And also, I don't really pay too much attention to it if there's something controversial. So for me, it's not a big issue.
Okay, so let's get to some more specific stuff. First of all, I think it's great to see you in the colours of Team Dignitas. I remember when you were sort of pitching for business, as it were, like, please, organisations, help me. And you found yourself a real good home. How's it been for you? I mean, has it been a positive experience? I mean, you mentioned you're going to get out to Singapore. Are you being well looked after?
Yeah, they... in the beginning, it was a bit weird, because I came from a team where I was like the big star. Yeah. They did everything for me, and when I went over to Dignitas, like when we were discussing everything, I felt like that they were going to put me in the same position, like they were going to take care of everything. I have to do more stuff on my own, but overall, like the marketing they do for me, they're helping me with tons of stuff. It's just a really big positive experience. And OD, he's doing a good job. I mean, there's so many players in Dignitas.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
I think it's about 60 or something. Seriously.
It's insane. It's like a gigantic football team almost. Yeah. And I understand that there are many players to take care of, and I can't always be in the spotlight and so on. I also understand that the League of Legends players are way bigger than me. So.
Plus, they're out in the States, so Odie gets to visit that nice little gamer house, or the Odie holiday home, as we call it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Well, so anyway, yesterday wasn't a great day for you, just in terms of the performance here. Now, I always find that people, like, it's nice to win a home story cup, but ultimately as well, I think people are relaxed, they try new things out, they play within themselves. Did you have a bad day at the office yesterday? Were you kind of more focused on just having some fun here? I mean, why was it that you kind of went out in the groups, do you think?
There are many reasons. The biggest reason is that recently I've been struggling quite a lot against Protoss. I kind of hit a wall in that matchup, and I haven't managed to solve it yet. It's been like that for a few weeks now. So it's a bit unfortunate that I got 2 Protosses. Yeah. I still thought that I would be able to put up a good fight against Hero, and I did. Mm-hmm. And I thought that I could beat Titan no matter what. He surprised me though. And I also had Cass, so it was a tough group. My goal going in there was obviously not to win it. There are so many great players here. I wanted to get like top 8, maybe get some prize money. But losing first day, it's not fun, but I still get to like do whatever I want after that, so it's okay.
Have you been finding the development of the game? I want to ask all the people that I'm going to interview here about this, because I think StarCraft 2 is at this very delicate sort of balancing phase. I think if we don't start getting it right soon, I think we're going to be in trouble. I think we're going to go past the point where it's going to be salvageable almost. I don't know if you agree. Not to be doom or gloom about it, but I'm not finding the same level of enjoyment in terms of spectating, and I hear a lot of disgruntled players. Like there's a lot of people saying, like we've got. Hi, join in. You can just sit there. It's cool. We got people around us. It's Home Story Cup, so it's busy times. But I'm also finding a lot of pro players that are like saying, the game's broken. There's just some elements about it that are never going to be right. There's some units that are stupid, and I think it's so much to sort of take in all at once that it's kind of created this very strange landscape for StarCraft. So where do you stand on it? I mean, I've never seen you bitching or moaning about it. So I mean, are you happy with the state of the game right now?
I actually think the last patch now it's changed quite a bit. We're not going to see it at this tournament though, but I think for the next few tournaments the metagame will change a little bit, and it's good. Okay, it was getting a bit stale, yeah. But it's not that much of a balance issue in my mind. I think it's more of a map issue. If the maps get better, the metagame will change. And I think it's like that with almost every race. Like for the past 1.5 years now, I think the maps have been very Zerg favored. And then they kind of changed it. So I changed some of the maps. So it's just hard to say. I still think that there's a lot of potential in the game. Like there's many builds, strategies, and so on that haven't been done yet. And almost at every tournament we see a player bring something new, or maybe something old that we have forgotten about. So the game is constantly changing, and I think that's the key to its success. Because if we end up with how it was in like Wings of Liberty, that players were just sitting there camping, making massive armies, then I understand that the game gets a little bit boring. But players are getting more and more aggressive, especially the Kespa players. They're just insane to watch. And I don't think that StarCraft is dying at all. Like we saw at the BlizzCon finals, there were so many viewers. Also, like getting the Kespa players, like you see how much better they are than the old Koreans, kinda. So the game is for me, it's getting more fun to watch. Like, but there are some playstyles that kind of destroy it. Like you probably talked about
the 3-hour game, right?
Firecake mana. I mean,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's something that I think is like almost disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, okay, here's a question, right? You're in charge of a tournament. You've got a 3-hour game going on. Like, I mean, how do you either A, stop that happening, or do you intervene and say, right, this is bullshit? Like, what would you do? How does Targa fix that problem?
You can't do anything. You have to change the maps. And they already removed Akelon from the map pool. I don't think any of the big tournaments are going to have Akelon anymore. It was pretty obvious from the start that getting 4 bases without doing anything, it's stupid. Every race has the opportunity to sit and make a big death ball, like Protoss has it, Zerg has it, Terran has it. On 3 base, it's hard, and you're a bit more limited, but once you get 4 bases, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I think that map was just incredibly stupid.
Well, let's ask you as well just about, kind of the whole WCS thing. It's an ever-improving process. We've just had the Season 3 finals. I thought the BlizzCon event was, impressive. Like you say, it brought a lot of viewers out of the woodwork, despite people maybe worrying about it being too Korean focused and whatnot. And it was a good, strong event. How are you feeling moving into sort of Season 4? I mean, do you think there's still tweaks that need to be made? And if so, what would you tweak?
I wrote a blog about it on the Dignitas site a few weeks ago. So
sorry for not reading.
Essentially, I wanted to be region locked, but if the Koreans want to play, they can play, but they have to live in the area. So they're gonna have to dedicate like 1 year of their life to live in Europe or North America. Like this will make it so that we can practice with them. It will raise their level, our level as well. We also will be familiar with their playstyles. The problem with having like players like Duck flying in from Korea is like we see him at 2 tournaments a year. If he doesn't play against a Zerg, I don't have any research. When I was doing some research for Duck, I found 1 game against a Zerg that was against TLO. I watched through the VODs and it was like, there's no point in doing this because TLO was playing his creative playstyle. So, and after that, I was like sitting back and thinking like what should I do against Duck? So the first game, like I really had to like feel him out and so on, and obviously it didn't go too well for me. There are some other stuff also. I think that would be cool if WCS did. Imagine if like they went to France or Russia and so on, like other big countries. It would be insane because I think like having it in Cologne is a bit boring. And I know that the LCS, they're traveling all around Europe, and that would be amazing if they did that for WCS as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Right, so this is where we get to prediction time. Since you've been on the couch and you've been watching some games already and you're going to be doing some casting, who's going to win this tournament, Targa, and why? Because it's actually, like generally, I think with Home Story Cups, I've looked at it and gone, he's going to win. And usually been right. I think there's been a couple of upsets like Snoot or, things you maybe didn't predict. But generally, you can pick a winner. This is a stacked event and, with the game being the way it is, hard to predict. So what's your pick?
My pick is MC. I think the obvious pick is to pick like Teja or one of the Zergs, but MC is good. He showed it yesterday. Like his games were a bit weird, but he's like almost. He's always good in tournaments.
Yeah, true.
and maybe he was saving builds yesterday and not playing his serious stuff. But I think he can win.
Okay. So just a little final question, I'll let you get back to the important business of drinking. You'll have some shout outs to do, I imagine, and just to all of your fans, which I know are growing by the day, where can they find you next? How can they keep in touch with what you're doing?
So they can follow me on Twitter at Targa01, and my next tournament is going to be IAM Singapore, so yeah, you guys can see me there.
Yeah. And sponsors, do you know them off by heart yet? Odie's going to be watching this.
Oh, I'm just going to say shout out to Team Dignitas and all of its sponsors.
Handled like a pro. They are there on the hoodie if you really want to say. Odie's going to give you lessons now, you know that. But anyway, look, it's great to talk to you, big man. Thanks a lot for doing the interview. And all the people out there, do stay tuned to the website. We're going to have more interviews from here at Home Story Cup 8 in Krefeld, Germany. So don't go